straight sets his victory. Reasonably comfortable. Russell never at ease in the conditions, I think it's fair to say. Couple of good starters from Globetz. And Nathan Rice was absolutely dominant. 26 shots to 2. And Anthony Keepy didn't play badly. But just at the moment, Nathan Rice is playing some of his best bowls, I think it's reasonable to say. And on cue, he glances the jack. Size 4 heavyweight bowl. He gets it away very smoothly, Shane. I think that's true also of Nathan Rice. Part of the reason why they're such good young players. Sound, but different techniques. Nathan Rice down and up, but in a fairly fluid movement. And I think this will be a fairly brisk affair as well. They don't muck around between bowls. They're quick decision makers. Needs to slip that bowl and stay for shot. Holding 2. I think with the way the skies look, we're going to get some sunshine and sometimes the rink in shadow. Just another variable for these players to deal with.
Well, no players like to have a drive on the first end, Steve, so we'll probably see control weight. There is the drive down there to take also that bowl out on the follow-through or jack into the ditch. Could make 3 shots if you could take out Birch's 2 bowls. Tweak of the fingers here, showing Globetz. Very unusual setup. Controlled weight.
There was a hole there to be found, and he found it. So it's over to Rice to see if he can add a 3rd and make a very good start here. Graham Shoulders, our marker, believes that Nathan's holding 2. It doesn't look like it on that angle, but that can deceive. Knows the track well enough. Can he slip that short bowl again? He's on a clearer angle. He needs it to run. It doesn't run enough. Falls out. And is it 2? Shane Globetz goes to the fingers. And now to the tape. Early signs are in. We're in for a pretty good match here.
Yes, Steve. It's they're in top of their game, these 2 players. Quality opponents on the way through.
Well, it was a tight one. they quickly agree. And Nathan Rice, first to score in the men's final. It's the Victorian Grand Prix at Club Barham. This is the 4th end of the first set, men's final. There we go. Now maybe Shane Globetz is on his way.
Yes, and I guess he'd be feeling reasonably good, Shane, because Nathan Rice, Steve, he's had 2 opportunities on the first end and the last end to add an extra and failed both times. It could have easily been 6-0.
Handy second. Do you prefer Nathan as a singles player or in...
Jack.
Oh, got it. Maybe I just answered your question, but where do you like to see him playing? What format, Shuey?
Well, he openly admits to loving pressure, so he's got a bit of a reputation of being a skip in pairs. But he's staking his claim as a singles representative of this hot patch he's had in the last few months, Steve. Glowboy, really, he's not far away. I mean, he has the ability to win on any surface, and sometimes it's a lot. I think Shane was unlucky, really, to miss the Commonwealth Games selection. He just didn't have a great Asia-Pacific Championships at Darebin. That's the venue where the Com Games were 6 months prior to the Games, and sort of probably that performance cost him a place in the Australian side, whereas Lurch ended up skipping the pairs to a bronze medal. Barry Lester is his lead. So really it's up to the Australian selectors, Cameron Curtis, the coach, and Rex Johnston and Jenny Harrigan to decide. I guess years ago, from a player's viewpoint, they were just happy to make the team, but now the high performance team and Australian selectors, they're just not looking for players that can make the side. They're looking for players that can win gold at Commonwealth and World Championships.
I just get the sense that Shane, struggling through these first few ends, he has slowed the match down. He's playing more slowly than in his semi-final when he was dominating Russell Meyer.
Yeah, well, Lurch, I mean, he's just flown out of the boxes for this final.
Run. Run.
They're both in great touch. That's 2 shots.
Nathan Rice, in defeating Anthony Keepy, we mentioned 26 shots to 2. He only dropped one end in 15. Globetz, that's close for second. You've called it as a second shoot, and it is 2 being held up by Graham's shoulders. So
it's only because it was Jack High, had dead weight, and this is not an easy shot, but it's a shot that Nathan would be hoping to make just to keep the momentum going. He's a couple down. He's playing very firm.
Now he needs luck.
And he's got it. It's all bad.
Yeah. That'll be 3 to Shane Globetz, and he's wiped out most of the deficit. He's giving his troublesome knees a bit of a rest there, Shane Globetz, but he gets up to some good news.
Shots to Shane Globitz.
He gets the first treble of the match, and now he only trails by 1.
Time to do a bit of aerobics up in the stand.
Here we go with the start of the 5th end. Not only has Nathan Rice just dropped a treble to let Shane Globetz back into this first set, and he rolled the jack in the ditch. So Shane has given us quite a short jack to play to.
It's 24 metres, just 1 metre over minimum distance.
He needed that. Good connection on Nathan Rice's.
That's well shot there, Graham.
It's close, I favour it.
How far short, please?
15 inches.
Thank you. All the way.
I think he likes it if it gets there.
Just pass it, Jack, that is?
Yes.
Thanks.
I think our viewers would just marvel at the way these players can process the information given by the marker. So the short bowl, 15 inches shy of the jack, and somehow Shane Globetz put that into action. And here comes Nathan Rice Had the right weight.
Yeah, had good weight, just marginally narrow. So I think actually Nathan Rice's nearest bowl to the jack is now further away than it was before that delivery Nathan just played. Well, Glowboy may return the favour here. Needs to keep off the front bowl. Whoops, well, it's definitely only one now, not two.
The wind at the moment, just not too bad at all, and the quality of the bowls reflecting the conditions, which are, they're not unkind. Those flags on the poles have been busier than that in the past. There's Russell Meyer in that corner having a chat. Shane Globetz. Russell was telling me that he wasn't really happy with the set of bowls he had in his match against Shane Globetz.
Got to be a little bit careful here. Globet's got last bowl on this end. I think Lurch would be trying to thread a passage through here to the shot bowl of the jack, or maybe turn that bowl, just two rolls. Be a little bit careful. When you're only one down, Shane has third shot, so Nathan Rice can ill afford to clip his nearest bowl to the jack out of the head. Almost did that. Inside edge would have clipped it clean off. Shane might take a risk here. I don't think he could hit the lead. I think he'll try and play in what's called into danger through Nathan's two bowls. He'd try to bring this bowl into the count. To do that, you'd have to move the jack approximately 10 centimetres. He's good enough to play it.
Pivotal bowl, this one. May not come back enough. Can he sneak around? Oh, unbelievable.
Weight was absolutely superb. He's almost drawn a second shot.
But only the one was a lovely bowl. These boys have got some touch. But it was only the one for Globetz, but we're 4-all after 5.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Well played, Shane Globetz. One down to one up. He trails by 2 on the scoreboard. Pressure bowl, this one.
Might have made 2 shots there, Steve. He's trailed the jack and...
Graham Shoulders giving it a good look.
Second one's close, Nathan. I favour one.
I don't think Lurch can see that bowl on the backhand. He might drive for the 2 bowls, but really I don't think he can get around the short bowl to hit that and take the 2 bowls out. I think it's a better option to work off inside edge of his own bowl or just draw the shot. Play with 30 or 60 centimetres of weight through the head.
We heard Graham Shoulders say he just thinks it's the one for Globetz.
Well, narrow once again with the conversion shot.
Could be another measure here. They'll certainly roll that one away. Shane, of course, wants 2. Would make it 6-all. He's asking for 2.
Two.
It is 2. There we go. Graham Shoulders didn't have it quite right, but that's all right. 2. Shane Globetz. And we're on level terms again. Nathan Rice, he's got a match on his hands now. He won the first 3 ends, but Shane Globetz has won 3 of the last 4 and picked up 6 shots. You can see that right column.
I like Shane Globetz now, Steve, in this first set because he's such a brilliant converter of a head if he's down, and He's given the mat to Nathan. He's going to have last bowl on this 8th end. And if he wins this end, he'll give the mat away again and have last bowl as again. And I think that's probably the difference. Lurch had the opportunity to convert on the previous end and failed. This is where a few nerves can just kick in. The arousal level just gets up and the adrenaline's pumping and just lose that delicate touch. Look at this for a massive correction. Missed the line, missed the weight.
Well, the players can see the finish line here in the first set, and it's made them a bit twitchy.
Oh, glow boy.
They're all over the place.
They've
been peppering the jack for 7 ends.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's just the heart rate, the shake of the head from Shane. The heart rate gets up an extra 50 beats a minute, and try to maintain composure, get the feel of the bowl away. And Lurch is narrow again. It's 2 shots, but you'd think Shane would be able to beat both of them. Beautiful delivery that time. He got the bowl away really sweetly, stayed down on it. But as he sent it, he nailed the line, but missed the weight.
Oh, the boys are tightening up.
Unbelievable. Those 3 Shane Globetz bowls, they're all 2.5 metres short of the jack. He's got the problem now, Steve. If he plays the forehand, he could easily crash on one of those short 3 bowls. He might have to go onto the backhand side that Nathan's playing. Well, that's not brilliant, but it's counting. It's 2 metres away. It's got 3 in a measure.
It's like neither player is going to say, I'm going to win this end. They're afraid to lose it.
Short bar, mate. How far short is it?
Not that that's what they'd be telling
4.5 feet
themselves.
short of jack high.
Thanks, mate.
Graham Shoulders has indicated 3 and a measure.
Big bowl, this one.
It's not up. I'm not here. I'm not here.
Well, he said if it's not up, he's not there. Well, that is the worst 4 bowls that Shane Globetz played in the match.
Possibly in the tournament.
He might have snuck in for 3rd shot there, though, Steve. He saved 1.
But he's given himself an enormous headache for the final end of this first set. He's allowed Nathan Rice a 2-shot lead again. The final end of the first set, Shane Globetz finds himself trailing by 2 shots. The mat's about 1.5 metres in advance of the tee, and the jack rolled all the way. And this is his choice. Got to get there. He's just played a very loose end by his high standards.
Well, I think the green, Steve, must have slowed. There's heavy cloud cover. Maybe just cooled the temperature somewhat and just slowed the green down, which very susceptible to change of pace, Tiff Dwarf grass.
In this format, of course, with sets play, they can halve the set. If Shane were to pick up 2 shots here to make it 8-all, then the winner of the second set becomes our champion. That 2 could be halved, and then we would go to a tie-break. That's happened.
Well, it looks like an open forehand draw for Nathan Rice, but he just knows this backhand so well. He's trying to just draw around Shane's bowl. Four bowls played, all short of the jack. Shane Globetz just dropping back, but it's still a very high effective rate considering the difficult conditions.
Run.
Now Nathan Rice has second and third shots. We'll see a conversion shot with some weight, I would think, now. Has been playing these conversion shots narrow.
And we'll do so again. And put on the thinking cap. What am I up to? It's a painful experience out there.
Well, it's very important, this bowl, for Shane Globetz. He's 2 behind, the last end of the first set, and he's holding 1 shot with just 1 bowl remaining. It must count.
Yes, Nathan won't have to play his last unless this bowl of Shane Globetz joins the count. And it won't. So he's happy to concede the 1, Nathan Rice, because it means he wins the set by a score of 8-7. And they'll go on to the second. So Nathan Rice is halfway to winning the Victorian Grand Prix men's singles. And to take you through that second set will be Quentin Hull.
One of the form players of 05 against the form player of 06. And it's the golden man from last year who's under pressure, Shane Globetz. Mind you, he's continuing to build his reputation as his career gains momentum. But Nathan Rice, no longer just a talented team player. If he continues on his current vein of form and can turn his first set lead into another singles title, he might be on his way to a coveted singles berth for his country.
Yes, Salisbury Super Bowl, prestigious singles in Brisbane. He won that early in the year, Nathan, and then backed it up to win the very prestigious Golden Nugget singles title. And reached the final of the Australian Indoor Singles. And now in the final of the Victorian Grand Prix singles. What a run for Nathan Rice.
Kelvin Kirko, the man that got the better of Nathan Rice at the Tweedhead Indoor Complex, but the Commonwealth Games singles gold medalist won't be around by the time the Asia Pacific Championships are on. Both players really hitting their straps early in this second set.
Shot bowl in relation to a second wood, please.
4 inches behind it.
Thank you.
That's what Shane was hoping to hear. He knows now if he gets the inside edge off his nearest bowl, he'll come off and land the shot bowl. The second shot is shorter than the shot bowl.
Hold.
It looks to be narrow. I might have the bowl clean. That's a better result.
Well played.
Come here, Zach Graham.
This is how Shane Globetz saw it enter the head.
2.
2 down is the call for Rice, but he's got 2 to play. Doesn't look promising from here. And he drops his head, snaps the fingers, and that's a really loose bowl from a man who we've come to expect so much of. But sure, you must have been through that part of your career as well when you're forging your name, and it's a companion of good performance, isn't it? The pressure of your peers, the expectation of living up to your fine form.
Yeah, well, every tournament they play these guys, Quinn, it's an opportunity to press for national selection, and It's one thing to make the team, it's another thing to stay there. Well, good, young, talented players around, and as Shane and Nathan realise that
This is another beautiful bowl from Shane Globetz.
a win here, well, look at that. That is superb play from Shane Globetz.
Holding 3. There's a little bit of a target there for Rice, though. It's just a matter of whether he risks trying to spoil and missing in such an early and important part of the second set.
Well, there's 2 shots on here, Quentin. He could try to thread a passage for the jack through there. I don't think he'll play that shot. I think he'll play what's called crack an egg on there, and the jack will spring through. He's got the receptive bowl, so backhand with a metre of running onto the shot bowl.
3 down.
Hey.
Just too quick to turn.
He took plan B, Shuey, and was pretty close. But that
Three shots.
lack of execution
Shane Globetz.
means it's an excellent start for Shane Globetz in the second set. All bar one of the maximum count for a lead of 3. Four ends for Nathan Rice to find 4 shots to prevent a tie break. A draw's good enough for him to take the title, having won the first set, 8-7. And that's a much better opener. But at the moment, this man's been playing too well.
Yes, but, you know, Nathan Rice, Quentin, he's been playing this backhand beautifully in this direction, and guess what he's done? He's just decided to try the forehand side with the opening bowl. He's plastered the jack. So brave decision when he's drawing so well on the backhand.
How about the reply? Oh,
Yeah,
so
it's close, but still 1 down. That'll open up the backhand now. Nathan will switch already to try to rest on that bowl and flop in toward the jack. In bowls terminology, that's called a shoulder to rest on. The second shot poking out there on the right of the jack.
it's narrow. And he hasn't nudged it.
Shane will attempt to play the conversion shot now with just 30 centimetres of weight, trying to get the split, which is in the middle of the 2 bowls. And very even effective rate in this final. Had perfect line for the shot. Needed an extra 60 centimetres of weight. When you're playing class opposition, you've got a head like this. You've got to change it quickly. Nathan's got 1, but it's not a good one. If he doesn't consolidate, Glowboy will come down and get the shot.
Narrow again.
He's got to try and shot ball
Only
jack.
a little. Just needed to push it a bit more.
4 inches. Okay.
But the silence is deafening, as we so often say when we get to the tight moments of the big matches. The crowd, well, they're not frozen, they're a little cold, but they're just engrossed.
Had the weight, missed the line. That's the weight he's trying to play to get the split on the 2 bowls.
It's the big moments, no doubt. Sure, you experienced it in your career as well. If the crowd's been bubbling along throughout and then suddenly you're thinking, well, where's that noise gone?
Yeah, and there's a lot of extra thoughts rushing through your mind. You've got to just keep it simple here. Pick the line. He knows the line well. Make sure the weight is right. Don't worry about what if I miss, what if I'm narrow, what if I'm wide. Just play the shot.
Last for Rice in the 6th end of second set.
Run. Run.
Globetz with 1 to play, down 1.
Not a bad attempt. Still holding 1, but he's got 3rd and 4th shots now, which will take the split away from the mind of Shane Globetz. He'll have to dead draw the shot now with delicate weight, flop on either the shot bowl or the second shot and fall on top of the jack for one.
And he's got the luxury of leading by 4. He realises with ends running out in the second set, he doesn't have to do anything too risky. At this stage, he could afford to drop just a single.
Well, if he plays too much weight, Quinn, and why he shouldn't play weight, he could turn the Rice second shot over closer to the jack. Look at this. Absolutely sensational backhand draw shot.
Oh, don't think it's taken the shot, but it's going to stay on the running surface. It was still a magnificent attempt. And well, it's a pretty tight measure. So much so that the umpire has to just revisit, and it's one to Rice. As we thought, but it was a well worth visit for the umpire to the rink. Rice picks up 1, but Globetz leads by 3 with 3 ends to play in the second set. The tiebreak seems to be looming in the Victorian Grand Prix men's singles final. Globetz by 3. And doesn't that triple count to start the second set stand out like a beacon on the scorecard?
Well, he made the running on that first end of the second set, Quentin. Converted, took the Rice shot bowl clean away from the jack, then switched hands and drew a third shot. But really, it's a struggle now. Since then, we've had 4 singles and just 1 double after that opening treble. And this is the replay of the conversion shot. 1 down to 2 up, then switches to the backhand with his last, Shane Globetz, and ended up drawing a magnificent 3 shots.
Just noticed before the end began, Shuey, Globetz just swinging his right arm and just really quite noticeable exhale, just trying to, I think, release a bit of tension.
Yeah, well, of course, Shane has to win this set. Nathan only has to tie it to win the title. Shane leading by 3, but 3 ends remaining at the moment. It's Rice holding. This should be the shot bowl.
Will it stick around?
Oh, still running.
Just scooting away.
Well, Graham Shoulders has got 1 orange lollipop aloft. So he's saying it's 1 to Shane Globetz, but certainly not the last one.
This might be the best of the lot of them. Gets a friendly slide. Definitely 1 to Rice.
That last bowl of mine, Graham. Have fun past Jack.
4 feet.
Yes. Bit of work done, but more to do.
When your luck's running, you get the A-grade slide, and it's not happening. You clunk and don't go anywhere, and important bowl this.
Last for Globetz in the 7th end. Hasn't pushed it. And now Nathan Rice can stick on his backhand, and he knows he's loosening up for perhaps one of the biggest bowls of the final. Holding 1, trailing by 3 on the scoreboard, but a massive opportunity to make it 2. If he gets it right here, he inches closer to the title.
Oh!
Got the slide. 2 to Rice.
2 to Nathan.
Another nice A-graders rub there off the short. Shane Globetz bowl follows through onto the jack.
6-5 in favour of Shane Globitz.
It's a tight one now. Only 5-1 the lead for Globetz. He needs to win the second set to force a tie-break. Hope you're enjoying the ride with us on Super Series Bowls. It's a tight one. I reckon there'll be some consternation in the bowls clubs and lounge rooms. Can Shane Globetz hold on in the second set and force a tie-break, or is the momentum now with Rice? The scorecard indicates so. He's won the past 2 ends. What do you reckon, Shuey?
It's a great contest. That's what I reckon. I'm sure our viewers are enjoying it. High quality match. Rice would be happy to have last bowl. This green is definitely slowing. They're getting caught short too often. I guess any score to Nathan Rice here, Quinn, and he'd start pretty firm to win the title because he'll have last bowl on the last end. And just to add to the problem, I think there's a couple of spits of rain.
Well, that would be...
That'll slow the green even more.
just adding to the drama. Mother Nature senses that we're seeing some good stuff and the title's on the line. Certainly it has become quite overcast during the second set of this final. Rice again doing the business, really finding his range on the draw shot.
My last ball, Graham, how far short, mate?
26 inches.
And shot ball?
Shot bowl in relation to Jack. 2 inches short of Jack high.
Thank you.
To his credit, Shane Globetz, he's varied the tactic. He's tried the mat back short jacks. He's tried 3/4 length. Now he's gone ditch to ditch, maximum 33 metres.
Snapping of the fingers, what does that indicate? He's not happy. Well.
Well, Rice has got an opportunity here to score a multiple. And if he scores 3 on this end, there'd be no way back, I wouldn't think, for Shane Globetz. He'd need 3 shots on the last end. But short once again.
Well, both men have one to play once this ball comes to rest. And it really is palpable, the tension. You can sense it in the crowd. Both men have got the benefit of the microphones just on their collars, and you can really hear the heavy breathing.
Yeah. Yep, look to the heavens. I think there's a few spits around. Rain, and big shot this for Shane. He has been playing this forehand. He could either choose to draw the shot there. There is another shot with weight on the backhand to take the bowl out. If he's narrow, that's his own bowl coming up. So he has a couple of opportunities with weight on the backhand, and it's starting to rain.
Yes, we're getting a few spits of rain on the window of the commentary box.
So it's backhand, just over draw weight, trying to rest on the shot bowl.
Leading by 1, but down 1 on the head.
Looking good.
And it has got too much juice. Rice still holding with 1 to play.
Well, there's a game of millimetres. Solid contact. He gets the shot and just got feathered away and almost picked up speed. Desperately unlucky for Shane Globetz. It's a very important shot, this, Quinn, and if he scores 2, he can afford to drop 1 on the next end.
Indeed. Massive moment. Looks very good if it can get around the traffic, but no, it dies, and it's a 6-6 ball game in the second set. And the equation is this. Should Rice win the next end, he wins the title. Should Globetz win it, we're going to the tie-break.
Get the hands going.
Do or die end for Shane Globetz. Nathan Rice has the luxury of the first set in his keeping. Rice winning 5 ends to 3 at that triple count to start the second set.
It's been a good fight back, Quentin, considering that Nathan Rice was 2-6 behind on the scorecard after 5 ends. He's picked up 2 singles and a double to claw his way back to within 1 shot of victory.
And the good news, Shuey, that little bit of rain that just made its way across the rink here at Barham has, for the moment, left us in peace.
Once again, both first bowls short of the jack. Shane has brought the mat up 3 metres and rolled a 30-metre length to the jack to the tee. And this looks a very good correction.
That might be enough to get him to a tie break. Of course, every drop of rain so valuable in these parts, Shuey, but players will be hoping it just holds off until they can get into the clubhouse. It's the case around so many parts of Australia as well.
Jack.
Missed it. Missed it flush, which was what he was yelling for. Still sliced a little bit of the jack across the line, but still Globetz holding. And again, the millimetres, Shuey, that, if he could have trailed it flush there, it would have been so hard for Globetz to respond. Just needed it in the belly of the bowl. And now Globetz doubles up his count.
Now switch to the forehand here, Lurch, and come just searching over draw weight, I think, through the gap, but can ill afford to be wide, needs to be narrow to the shot bowl. That'll be 3 down. Looking like a tiebreaker.
Rice will get to bowl last, but the reason why there is a very deliberate pause from this man, he knows that...
He just said to, sorry, Quentin, he just said to Nathan, what are you going to play? What do I need to cover here?
He knows that this might be his last trip to the mat in the match.
Well, I think he should keep away, Shane. He only needs 1 shot. He's got 2 spare. Cover the back. He knows that, well, I would imagine... So he's got to figure out what Nathan's going to play, and then how's he going to cover it? Will he play forehand with weight? Will he play backhand with weight? Look at the gap on the backhand. Around the short bowl, get the split through the gap, and swallow the jack. Nathan's up at the head. He'll be visualising the shot he's about to play if the head is not changed. I think this is a tiebreaker, Quentin. This is a tough shot for Nathan. I think Shane should keep well away.
What is he going to do? I think he still doesn't know as he steps onto the mat. Backhand.
Oh. The wind has sprung up.
Terrific tension. A fitting final, which could be extended or may well be over after the next bowl. What's he done? Provided the roadblock.
Well, he might have just forced Nathan Rice to change his shot.
And from that expression, we don't know whether he's executed what he was thinking about. Rice has 1 to play. If this is an absolute gem, he wins the title. If not, we go to the tie-break. And what's he thinking, Shuey?
Well, it's definitely forehand, but does he draw the shot? I think he'll attempt to draw the shot, work off this bowl, inside edge, or play weight, sit that bowl, miss the jack, and run through for the shot. 2 options, and he's playing the weighted shot.
Is it a title winner? It's got the gap, and we will go to the tie-break. A bold attempt from Nathan Rice, but fittingly, this fine final will be extended by possibly 3 ends.
Shane call this time.
Heads.
The toss for the tie-break,
Shane Globetz, and he
but
takes out the second
3
set.
shots to finish the second set, 9-6. Best of 3 ends to decide the winner at Club Barham, the Victorian Grand Prix. Shots are not important, but whoever wins the end inches closer to the title. And that is an outstanding opener in these kind of pressure conditions.
Well, it's not really. Sorry, Quentin. Shane Globetz is the perfect exponent of sets play. He's brilliant in the tiebreaker. He won the toss. He's got last bowl. That is not the end winner, trust me. He'll have the drive already in his mind for the jack or the bowl. Lurch might only have one opportunity to tidy up. Oh, it's almost blocking the drive to the bowl.
But we see so often, Shuey, the pressure of what usually is a shot which can be executed under this circumstance.
I think Shane's greatest strength, and you mentioned earlier on in the year 2005, you know, he really was the shining light of Australian bowls. And he won all those big titles in tiebreakers, usually with his last bowl. That is okay, but it's still not great. It's alongside the jack. He would have liked to push the jack out of sight or finish directly in front or behind. Shane would expect to make this.
He is forcing his opponent to play a good bowl, though.
Yeah, but it's Shane Globetz on the mat, mate, not you.
Exactly.
Look
It
at
is
the
Shane
weight.
Globetz.
See, he'll keep that weight with the next bowl, just narrow the line. This is the biggest bowl of the first end right now, I think. Oh, Lurch has switched.
Well, he's asking questions, that's for sure.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. He's virtually thrown out the challenge to Shane, saying, well, I don't think you can get this, pal. I'll just let you have another 2 attempts. And I think it's a poor choice. I think Shane Globetz is good enough to make this shot right now. Shot bowl or the jack with 2 metres of running.
Hold. Hold.
And it's still Rice in control. Very, very close, but it was a pretty handy question to ask of the big man.
Well, now, Quentin, it's a 1-bowl shootout. There's 1 metre of room, and look at that, the difference between success and failure. Thought he had it, called the bowl, just slide through.
Kind of shot you sort of make more often in the sets than the tie breaks, but
He's got room to draw the shot.
what a great contest this is. First end of the 3-end tie break.
We've seen Nathan Rice drop short 4 or 5 times in the match when he's had an opportunity to nail the jack. He's done it again, and
Well, now the opportunity is a
the
massive
door's
one.
open.
Globetz could not really ask for anything more to take a 1-end lead in this tie break. The pressure is on. It's tough because of the situation, because of the nature of the opposition, but a man of this ability would be loving the room that he's got to sidle up and take a 1-end lead.
The only problem is, Quinn, he's played 2 forehand weighted shots. Now he's got to come back to a delicate draw. I think he'll make it.
Currently, it holds with Rice. Has he nudged it?
He's a brilliant sets player. Shane Globetz needs to... Well, he's crashed. Just didn't have the legs.
And Rice, after that searching, testing, opening combination of bowls, has done enough to win the first end of the tie-break and take the lead. Well, again, Globetz is faced with the scenario that he faced in the last end of the second set. I need to win this end to stay in the match. He managed to do that just a couple of ends ago. Can he do it one more time? Or will it be Rice tasting victory at Burham? That is a pretty handy start.
That's a good call, Quentin. It's handy. It's not dead and buried. It's handy. It's a good opener. But it's not a great opener when you're playing world-class opposition. And
that's a pretty handy reply.
it's a very... Because the plant is on now. For those that play snooker and bowls will know what a plant is. Any contact on Nathan's bowl, the shot bowl goes clean out. The bowls are almost touching. So what does Shane Globetz do? He has to switch and tidy up. He has to trail the jack. You play this shot as if you were down, not hoping to hang on to the one you have. Oh, super shot.
Talk about cream rising to the top. This is...
well, look out. Look out. How much weight?
Target's building.
How much weight? Might be big weight for the jack into the ditch for the title.
Won't bend.
Rushed it. Couldn't get on the mat quick enough.
Now, what does Globetz do?
Oh, not touching Jack, Graham.
No, 1.5 inches off.
Am I allowed to have a look?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're a good man.
Very good call from the marker, Graham Shoulders. Given the situation, players are not supposed to visit the head until they've played 3. He wants to have a closer look. They need to ask permission to the marker.
Well, does he run for cover, Shuey? Does he wait for Rice to play a good bowl and buys the insurance now?
Well, I'm not a mind reader.
What would you do?
Well, I would definitely attack this head with a 0.5 metre of running. I'd come in here and rest that bowl or take out Nathan's, but better still, trail the jack 60 centimetres through the gap. I don't think Nathan Rice is going to miss that target with 2 more attempts. But to contradict that, it's always better to have them there than have to make the shot. He's running, well, I don't think he's running for cover. He would definitely not be thinking block. This is a delicate trail. He's after the jack. Delicate touch. Oh, he's drawn a toucher. Wow. Now, a big drive. Scatter everything away from the head. Nathan Rice lets rip. And he's hit every bowl, and the jack has gone off. There's not a bowl left on the rink. Would you believe it?
It's different.
A minor explosion.
A massive explosion. It's an earthquake. You've got 6 bowls plus the jack, and it's going to be a 1-bowl shootout for the title. Globetz to force it to a 3rd end. Rice to win it.
One more time, Nathan Rice sending bowls to all points of the compass.
I would say Glowboy would need this bowl within a metre.
It is a skill that
He's in the
Australian
shadows.
players are required to practice.
He's in the shadows. It's slower out there.
Will it get back on the rink?
He's off the rink.
It's not even in play.
Oh, Nathan Rice, he could play this left-handed for the title. There is a toucher, I believe, in the ditch.
Well, Rice still looks to have a concerned look on his face, but to all intents and purposes, it seems he has the title.
Just below the marker, it would 5 metres away from the jack.
That's belonging to Globetz, so Rice still has to play this bowl with some manner of precision.
Yes.
He's done it. He's happy. Nathan Rice punched the air, and an extraordinary final comes to its conclusion. Hope you've enjoyed it. What a terrific conclusion to the Victorian Grand Prix, and Nathan Rice, rightfully so, is a jubilant young lawn bowler.
Well, it was a great final, and you had to play a mate. Were it difficult conditions, or they actually improved across the match?
Yeah, they were. They did improve. The wind wasn't too bad. The greens were very good. There was no excuse for blaming the greens, but it was hard playing a good mate of mine. You know, it was anyone's game, but I was lucky enough that I just got over the line.
Down 6-2 in the second set. What were you telling yourself at that point?
Oh, yeah, still had plenty of ends to go. I said it wasn't over then, and just got dropped a bad 3, but I just had to hang in there and just give myself every chance that I had to win that second set.
Now, that was a heck of a drive there in the tiebreak. You actually cleared the deck.
Yeah, I did. It was a good hit. I had to hit it with that one, otherwise if I missed out, it was pretty hard with my last one. So I was lucky enough I hit it, and Shane was a bit stiff with his last one. It just sort of held out there wide there, but I was lucky enough that I just scraped in with my last one.
And you've had a real purple patch. Just briefly, why do you think you've hit such good form?
I think I really wanted it. I think just a change of attitude and really going there determined to really do well, and it's a good feeling now to know that I can sort of do it on my own as well.
Well, you put some great results together. Well done.
Thanks, Ed. Thank you.
That brings to an end the Victorian Grand Prix from Club Barron, but we hope you can join us next time on Super Series Bowls.
G'day, viewers. Wasn't she terrific?
Very interesting.
3 artists, 2 days, 1 landscape.
This is so daring.
There used to be a time when a man could walk the street.
The pill saved my life.
It's shocking me right out of my brain.
Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Look at them come.
There's more in life than work. I realise that now.
Her visions seem to match details revealed by a local man who has been brought in by police.
This is Brand, Great Britain.
Out up there!
Too many pies, Gardner Thompson.
Great gift ideas with a superb selection of DVD box sets for Christmas. Poirot, the DVD collection, the complete series of As Time Goes By, and To the Manor Born, the Australian Ballet Classic Collection, all 39 episodes of the award-winning Frontline, and the entire series of This Life. Just some of the superb DVD box sets for Christmas from ABC shops, ABC centres, leading retailers and online.
On Wild Europe, the shrines of a civilization in perfect synchrony with nature.
Over 100 generations lived to its rhythms.
But as human power grows, the balance shifts, and shifts again.
In just 3 years, half the inhabitants of Europe are dead.
And only plague and long wars give Europe's animals the chance to regenerate. Wild Europe, 7:30 tomorrow night on ABC.
Or out.
This is a most extraordinary garden. It's beautifully located near Launceston, Tasmania. When the owner, Dr. Eve Murfield, first contacted me, she did so from a most unusual place, from the Antarctic.
My job in Antarctica was the expedition medical officer, taking care of everybody on station. The Antarctic Division's had a hydroponic program going for some time, but my job was really organising what grew where and planting all the seeds and every day going in, pollinating the flowers and doing all the sort of day-to-day care.
But what was it in? What was it growing in?
Well, there was 2 modified shipping containers which were heated, they were lit, they had a water supply going to them so that we could grow hydroponically in there. We grew all sorts of things, cucumbers, tomatoes, silver beet, pak choy, a range of different herbs, capsicums, things that were sort of salads that we could eat fresh and crunchy and raw, really. There are no insects in Antarctica, so we had to do all the pollinating ourselves, and every morning I'd go around with a paintbrush pollinating all the cucumbers and shaking the beans and tomatoes to pollinate them.
After learning of Eve's astonishing successes as a below-zero Antarctic gardener, I could hardly wait to see the kind of garden she could create in a normal climate. Well, there's rocks everywhere and it's extremely steep. I mean, tell us about how you got going on this one.
Well, I've put sort of rock walls around, as you can see, and used them as a sort of retaining wall and tried to use the big rocks as a feature. Most of the rocks used in the rock walls I've actually dug out of the garden, which took a fair bit of work, but they make quite a good sort of retaining wall to hold back the soil for the plants.
You've got all the plants actually in little bays and pockets everywhere.